If you collect manga, then by definition, you know what it means to experience true suffering. And that's because no matter what kind of manga collector you are, no matter what kind of series you're into, then you've had the shared experience that all collectors have had, where there is a series that is super out of print, super rare, super expensive, that you really want, but that you know you'll just never be able to get. And it drives us to just a greater sadness than anything we've ever known before in our lives. And so that's going to be the subject of today's video here. This is going to be about the top 5 manga that I want, that I don't have, and that I will likely never be able to get, but never say never. Maybe I will, I don't know. And I think this is going to be a therapeutic experience for us, because here's what I'm thinking. I'll name my top 5 series that I really want and can't get, and in the comments, you all can name your top 5 series that you really want and can't get, and then we could just grieve together, you know, and we'll come out of this stronger, better, something else good-ish people, and we will be better. Yes, alright. So yeah, this is my top 5 manga that I really want to own but can't because they're super rare. So I'm only going to pick ones that I own at least one volume of but don't have the rest, just so that I can like kind of pick them out of my collection and show you what they look like and stuff. So that's just a weird rule that I came up with for this, but it makes sense because like most of the manga I want, I own at least one volume of, because you know I really want them, and I'm like, hey, if I can't own the whole thing, I'll just get like part of it. So I got that, and so we're gonna count down from 5 to 1. 5 being, you know, the one I want the least, and 1 being the one I want the most, but I still want 5 a good bit, and you know how numbers work. Why am I explaining how counting works to you? What am I doing? Anyway, and here's one last final word of warning before we begin. If you own any of these manga that are on this list, then you better sleep with one eye open tonight, because I'm coming for you. Yeah, you better watch out. You better lock your doors. You better lock your windows. You better set your alarm system if you got one of those, because you know I'm gonna be solid snaking my way into your air vents. If you got Slam Dunk Volume 19, I'm gonna come out of your shower drain like Pennywise the Clown and snatch that manga away from you. So here you go. You better watch out. I'm just giving you a heads up. You know, don't want anything to happen. Here we go. So first up on my list, number 5, we got Biomega. Yeah, I bet you thought I was gonna say Phoenix. Here's the thing: Phoenix is so rare and hard to find and impossible to get that I can't even dream about it anymore. Like, it's not even, my mind has just totally blocked that off, because I know that it is just beyond even hoping for. It is just an impossibility to even daydream about. That's how sad and out of reach Phoenix is for me. So we're going to talk about Biomega. What do I got here? I got volume 5. This is, let me get a better grip on this volume here. So Biomega, I don't know if this is out of print or out of stock. It's in that nebulous zone where it's probably out of stock, but the thing is, I don't know if Biomega is popular enough to get reprints immediately. Like, I doubt Viz is sitting here like, oh no, Biomega is out of stock. We gotta reprint that immediately for all the die-hard Biomega fans. So, yeah, I don't really know what the situation with this is, and I guess we'll find out within the next couple of years whether reprints start coming out for it or not. But anyway, Biomega is by Tsutomu Nihei, and it's one of my goals to get every Tsutomu Nihei manga ever made. And this, for now, is the only one that's really hard to get. For a while, Noise was super hard to get, but that's actually getting reprinted this year by Kodansha. And like a hardcover, I think. So I'm going to pick that up, and with that, Biomega is going to be the only one that's hard to find. And yeah, that's annoying, because you know how it feels when you're so close to getting everything and there's one series that's just impossible to get. Yeah, that's Biomega. That's what Biomega is. And as for what this series is even about, I don't even know. It's not really with Tsutomu Nihei's stuff, and I'm saying this as a big fan of his. It doesn't really matter what they're about. You come into this for the vibe and the art. Like, look at how cool this cover is. This dude is punching this horn-looking, cyborg-looking guy through the throat. Like, that's why you read Tsutomu Nihei. Nobody knows what the story... I've read 2 of his works. I don't even know what the story was in those. Like, but I don't care. They were great. And Biomega is the same way. I hear that there's like a bear with a machine gun in it, like a cyborg bear, and he like rides a motorcycle and shoots zombies. Like, that's all I need. That's all I need to hear. I want to see that, especially with that Tsutomu Nihei artwork. So Biomega, it's 6 volumes. All of them are you can't get, and we're gonna have to wait and see within the next couple of months, maybe years, whether these get restocked or not. And if they don't, then it's just gonna be the Wild West out here. I'm gonna have to go and punch a dude through his throat for the rest of the Biomega volumes. I wouldn't do that, actually. I'm not strong enough like this guy is, but you know, we can dream, right? We can dream. Biomega, I want it. If you have it, I'm coming for you. You better watch out. For the next series, number 4, we got Trigun Maximum. So I was blessed enough to get the original Trigun here, and these first 2 volumes. Thankfully, it's only 2 volumes, so that was easy. But Trigun Maximum, I'm so close yet so far away, because I got these first 9 from a used bookstore for $3 each, which was pretty cool. And there's 14 volumes, I believe. But here's the problem. Those last 5 volumes are just impossible to get for like less than $100, some of them. I remember I told this story in my collection video. I went to a Half Price Books, and they were selling the Trigun Maximum omnibuses for something like $100-some each. I forget what it was, but it was in the triple digits. It was it was really insanely bad, and I lost all my faith in humanity when I saw that. And here's the saddest part of that. Here's the saddest part. I didn't have enough strength to bring it up in the collection video because I was still in recovery after all these years. But years ago, when I first got into manga collecting, I went to this one store, and they had the Trigun Maximum omnibuses for $2 each. Like the omnibuses. $2 each. And I thought about buying them. I was like, Trigun, I've heard of this. That's that show from the 90s, right? I don't know if I want to read that. And I just walked away and didn't buy them. Just think how much different my life would be if I just bought those Trigun Maximum omnibuses back then. I don't know, I'd be a completely different man. Oh boy. What could have been? What could have been? But Trigun, I haven't read any of these yet. I should. I feel like I haven't read them because I just know that I'd be hit with a wall of sadness once I reached volume 9 here and knew I couldn't go forward. and so I'm just holding back from starting them yet. But yeah, this is a classic. It's about Vash the Stampede, who has one of the coolest names in manga. And him, I don't really know what it's about aside from that. I think he's like a pacifist in space. He does space pacifism stuff. But anyway, everyone says it's really good, so I want to read it. The universe is holding me back from getting these last 5 volumes, so we'll see if I'll ever get them someday. For my number 3 pick, I actually have a tie. Now, normally ties are pretty lame on lists like this, but for this list, this is not like an official ranking of anything important by any means, so I'm just gonna go with it, like, who cares? And also, both of these series are kind of related, and both have similar things going for them, so I'm just throwing them both together, and we're looking at one right now. For my number 3 pick, I have Slam Dunk and Real. So these are both basketball manga. They're both by Takehiko Inoue, and they're both series where I own most of them, except for a couple of volumes. So for Real, I own everything except for volumes 2 and 3. And for Slam Dunk, I own everything except for 5, 19, 29, and 31. I have those volumes memorized. I've had them memorized for about a year and a half now, because that's how long it's been since I bought all these volumes, and I've been like, oh, the volumes I'm missing should be back in stock soon. It won't take any time. And I remember there was a while where I checked basically every day on the internet to see if those volumes had come back in stock, and they never did. And now I only check like once a month now. Like I'm I'm slowly giving up, and because it's been a year and a half. Same with Real. Same with volumes 2 and 3 of Real over here. These are just these are like legendarily out of stock. And I think Viz said that they're gonna bring these back, because Real is still coming out. Volume 15 just came out a couple months ago. And yeah, so it'd be a smart move of them to keep this in print, because it's still coming out. It's like a widely acclaimed series that lots of people like and still talk about. So I don't believe that these are out of print forever, but I don't know how much longer they're going to be out of stock. And if you try to look for like Real Volume 2 or Slam Dunk 19 on eBay, people are paying like $70 for those individual volumes, and I'm not trying to do that. That's really not part of my plan for this. But yeah, it's such a shame, because I really want to read these series. These are series everybody loves. I've read Vagabond by the same author, and it's fantastic. I've started reading Slam Dunk, and it's really great so far too. But I don't have volume 5, so I can't keep going. I really don't want to, go online and read the scans for something that I want to own, Like, I'm going to buy these if they ever come back in stock, so I don't want to, read the missing volumes online and then have them come back in stock right afterwards and then just feel like a fool or something. I don't want to do that. But, yeah, Slam Dunk, Real, they both make me sad because they're out of stock, and I wish they would come back. Come back, Slam Dunk. Please. Moving on to number 2, it is GTO. I've just realized that the past 3 of my picks have all been kind of in the same corner around here. That's interesting. But yeah, GTO, you've probably heard of this. This is like one of the holy grails of rare manga. This is, when you think rare manga, this is one of the ones that immediately comes to mind, because it's 25 volumes. They've all been out of print for forever, and a lot of people really want this series. Now, I remember a day back when I first got into manga where GTO, like, it was out of print, it was kind of hard to find, but it wasn't like this like insane, like almost mythological series that was impossible to find. Like, if you went to used bookstores, you'd find a couple copies of GTO every time you went. Like, I had a used bookstore near me where before I decided that I wanted GTO, they had like 15 volumes of it just sitting there. And they sat there at that used bookstore for like 2 years, right? And no one bought them. And I knew that it was kind of an out of print, harder to find ish series, but I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to pick up these random volumes of GTO, which was a foolish decision. I should have bought them because they were like $2 each again. But yeah, that used bookstore also had a bunch of volumes of Initial D that sat there for 2 years also. And then, of course, as soon as 2020 happened and everyone got into manga, like, I went to that bookstore one day and all the GTO and Initial D volumes were gone, and I haven't, haven't seen any since. But with GTO, yeah, to set the stage, this series goes for about $1,000 now. It's 25 volumes. Someone bought the whole thing for $1,000 like a couple months ago, and now that's kind of been like the going price for this series since then, unfortunately. And it's really lame because I love this series. You can see my bookmark still in there. I'm only 7 volumes in, but this has potential to be one of my favorite series ever, honestly, from what I've read. And I really don't want to have to read the scans online. Like, I really don't, which is why I'm taking my time with it. But, yeah, I love it a lot, and I kind of... I kind of don't like how it has this mythological status, because now there's a bunch of people who don't really know if they'll even like GTO, who are trying to buy it just because it's super rare. Like, I see this all the time where people are like, oh, I spent $1,000 on GTO, I've never read any of it, I don't know if I'll like it or not. Which is questionable. I don't think you should do that. Especially because these volumes here, if you look at them, like, these old Tokyo Pop volumes are not very good quality. Like, there's gutter loss in these. Sometimes you can't read the words because they're like too far deep into the spine. Like, they're kind of like, these are very good condition volumes for GTO normally, because these volumes normally get kind of like crusty looking and yellow and stuff real quick because Tokyo Pop did not use like the greatest quality paper or anything. So just spending $1,000 on old crusty Tokyo Pop volumes is not a thing I suggest doing. But for GTO, it's almost worth it because it is very good. It's quite a good series. Just if you do want to drop the money on this, maybe like watch a bit of the anime first so that you know if you like it or not. And yeah, I don't know. I don't recommend dropping the money on this, to be honest, because $1,000 is absolutely ridiculous. I got all these 10 volumes for $3 from a used bookstore back in the day, and I really want to own the rest of the series, the 15 volumes I don't have. But it's just not worth it. Like, I've gone on eBay and checked the listings, and like, I am really not trying to pay those insane prices. Also, GTO has a bunch of spin-off series. There's GTO the early years and some other ones. The other ones aren't too hard to find, but GTO the early years, the thing is, I really want to read that. And it's also super out of print, and some volumes of that go for like over $100 by themselves. It's crazy. And I want to read it, and at one point I was like, oh man, like, I'm never going to afford this. I'm just going to go read the scans. I'm just going to read the scans online. And the only fan translation I could find for that series was just like unreadable. It was so bad. And so I really hope that it gets reprinted at some point. I feel like a fool even said this is never going to get reprinted. There's There's no way. Well, maybe it would. Hopefully, I'll be proven wrong. But GTO, I have no faith it'll get reprinted. But I know Kodansha got the digital rights to it, so you can buy it digitally. But they didn't get the digital rights for GTO the early years, which is the one I want to read because the only translation you can read online is really bad. Like, I would buy the digital volumes of GTO the early years if it meant I could read a readable translation of it. So, anyway, man, I've just been ranting about GTO for forever. But it's just, alright, we're getting to the part where I'm getting heated. Because GTO is just so good and so impossible to find. And, whew, man, it just makes me sad, guys. It really did not make me happy when I saw the prices of GTO. For my number one pick, the series I want more than anything else, it's gonna have to be Higurashi. I'm also gonna lump in Umineko, which is like the spiritual successor to Higurashi. They're like both written by the same guy, both in the same world, have some of the same characters and themes and stuff. And I don't have any Umineko volumes, and you'll hear about why in a minute. But if you look at the two series side by side, like they have the same design and everything, they're supposed to go together. So I don't feel weird like lumping them together here. But anyway, Higurashi is one of my favorite anime ever, and I hear the manga's even better. And Umineko, I haven't finished reading it yet, but I have the visual novel, and it's really good. And I just really want them so bad. And they are probably the most impossible manga series to get maybe ever. There's a couple really hard to get ones, but Higurashi and Umineko might be the absolute top of the top as far as impossibility goes. Higurashi and Umineko, they're really good psychological horror mystery series, so if that's your kind of thing and you haven't checked these out, I highly suggest it. Maybe get a more affordable version of the story, like watch the anime or read the visual novel or something, because these are super expensive. But yeah, if you have access to these, I hear the manga version's really good. But anyway, so let me tell you my troubles, my strife when it comes to buying this series. So Higurashi, I think it's 38 volumes long, I believe, 30 something. And of course, they're all out of print. And they go for insane, ridiculous prices. Like, this is another one where a full set of this is going to be over $1,000 easily. And so, I got these first 3 volumes here because I just found them out in the wild. And if I ever find volumes of this out in the wild, I'll pick them up. But so far, I've been collecting manga for 4 years now. These are the only 3 I've found. I've never seen a copy of Umineko in real life. I've never seen one. And Umineko is so ridiculously, insanely hard to find. So that had, I believe, 53, 54 volumes in Japan. And they're released in omnibus editions in English. So I don't know exactly how many volumes per omnibus. I think some of them might have 2 and some of them might have 3. So it's still a fair amount of volumes to collect here. And I was looking at the prices of these on eBay. People are buying individual volumes of that series for over $300 a volume. And because I thought about picking up some of them just to have. Like, I had no intention of owning the whole series, but I was looking online, I was like, holy moly, people are paying $300 per volume. And then, sorry, yeah, I was on Reddit, and I was on, like, the manga collectors subreddit, and someone had I don't even think it was a complete set of Umineko, it was not even complete. And someone asked them, how much did you pay for that? They're like, oh, 1.7K. And the other person was like, "Oh, you got a really good deal. That's really cheap." I was like, "That's really cheap. $1,700 is really cheap for a not even complete set of a manga series. Like, I bought a car for that much. Like, that's ridiculous." And I do more research, and apparently, not even complete sets of just Umineko regularly go for like $4,000. It's absolutely crazy. And complete sets, I don't even know how much they'd go for because those just never show up. No one, no one. If someone has a complete set of this, they don't sell it. That doesn't happen. And of course, it's my dream that someday these will get reprinted. But it's Yen Press. Yen Press hates reprints more than anything else in the world. So, one of the main plot points of Umineko is that there's this guy who's trying to sacrifice his entire family in like a ritual sacrifice in order to summon this evil witch. And I feel like that's Yen Press trying to tell us the only way we can get Umineko. They're like, the only way you're going to get this series is if you sacrifice your entire family for it. That's the only way it's going to happen. And I'm like, holy cow. Because it's like, I think altogether, like, you might have to pay like $7,000 for both of these series. And that's just, what in the world? What is life coming to? 7,000-ish. I'm just pulling that number out of my head, but I feel like that's honestly pretty accurate. And that's absolutely crazy. As soon as if this ever somehow gets reprinted, I'm snatching the whole thing up, like right away. No delaying. I'm immediately going online. I'm just buying it because I love these series so much. They're so good, and they're just right out of my grasp, and that's why they're number one on my list. Yeah. So those are my top 5 manga that I really want to own but can't because they're super hard to find right now. What manga do you want to get that you can't get? Let me know in the comments. Let me just tell me your troubles. Spill it all out. I'm here for you. We can go through this together. And if you own any of the series that I mentioned in this video, comment your address down below. Comment the times of day when you're frequently not home, and I'll come on down. I'm just kidding. Please do not comment your address down below. If you actually put your address, I'm deleting it. Don't do that. Do not do that. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day. I'll see you later, and lock your doors tonight.